That summer, after Hunter had turned a year, I almost lost my beautiful partner. It nearly cost me my life. Our perfect, protected life collapsed. I watched my wife literally fall in love with someone else right under my nose, and then pack my beautiful little boys up and walk right out of my life. I was devastated. Over a 6-month period of time, she was back and forth about 17 times. She loved me one day and wanted our family, then couldn't be without the other girl. I went from 125 pounds to 103. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I have never known such despair. So I prayed and prayed, God, please give me the strength. Help me get past this pain. But I sank deeper and deeper. Friends that I thought would be there for me were gone. Rumors were started that I was abusive, not just to my partner, but to my children. All lies. It wasn't enough to be left, but then to be so viciously attacked with lies. Outside of my parents, siblings, and one true friend, my friend Nicole, I was on my own. I realized everyone wants to be on the side where the happiness is and the good times are. Looking back now, I believe God allowed me to reach that level of despair in order to reveal himself to me and his healing power again. I tried to get out. I met a few male friends, not dates, just friends. Yes, if I was going to be thrown away, I certainly wasn't going to go with the same-sex partner again. I had learned my lesson not to go down that road again. I loved Annette with every fiber of my soul, but I decided spiritually if I met a man, it would be better for me, and I wouldn't have to worry about my salvation ever again. But I was hopeless. A part of me was dying. I knew Jesus was with me, but I was still sinking. Thankfully, Annette knew the importance of co-parenting, and she let me see the boys equally for the most part. I knew they needed me to be strong and stable. They lived between her twin sisters and the new girlfriends, so home was their safe place. We kept our routines and added a few new ones. I felt at this point in their lives they needed to learn about Jesus. Things were so confusing. I wanted something solid and comforting in their life. I knew there was only one true answer, our Savior. That week, I took them to Sunday school at my home church. It had been a while, but we were going to try Sunday school, ease into things slowly. I wasn't ready for the entire church effect. After all, homosexuals and Pentecostals usually don't go very well in the same sentence, at least not without raising a few hairs. Well, we sat down in that little classroom, and it was what we needed. It was a safe place to learn about Jesus without ridicule and condemnation. Unfortunately, it didn't last. The pastor came for me. He knew of my situation and wanted to offer me some guidance. I wasn't ready for this. My boys weren't ready. He tried to instruct me in the ways of the Lord. He reaffirmed my relationship was an abomination before God, and maybe this was God's way of setting me free. But my life was sinful, no matter how hard I tried to incorporate Jesus into it. I listened to him, then gathered up my babies and drove home. I never wanted to see him or a church again as long as I lived. When I got home, I called Annette and asked her to pick up the boys. My mindset had already let go of my life's worth. I couldn't do this anymore. If I lost my partner, soulmate, lover, and best friend, how could I go on? And if I got back with her, I was an abomination that would burn in hell, never to be with my Savior Jesus, who up to this point was the only reason I was functioning. Then tell me, how was I to go from there? I felt like someone literally tore my chest open and ripped my heart out. I remember walking into the garage, looking at the orange extension cord, and visualizing tossing it over the rafters and hanging myself. That was my answer. That was how I would end my misery. I couldn't do this anymore. I remember going in my house. Everyone was gone. I took a Xanax. I called my mama. I wanted her to know how much I loved her. I knew it would break her heart, but I just couldn't do this anymore. We talked. She must have sensed the despair, so she asked me to come up. I did, and by God's grace, the pain passed. I made it through another day.